Hey, this is Duncan here, and I'm with Tyrone Shum from massoutsource.com. How's it going, Tyrone?
Good, Duncan. Yourself?
Good, man. What we want to talk about today, the way I found out about Tyrone is I was following he and Pat Flynn on Smart Passive Income. They were doing a niche site duel, and so I followed those guys, and what they set up was different um, niche sites and to see who could get to number one in Google. So it was quite entertaining, and I don't know who ended up winning that.
I got to number one place first, but we sort of I sort of just stopped from there because I was trying to look at different ways. But in terms of monetization, Pat took it that step further and started making money from that, and he's been quite successful in making that. I mean, you can see all the reports and stuff that we posted up there, and Pat was sort of saying, why is he not getting to first place first? But that didn't really matter because at the end of the day, what was important was showing how we put that process together and also how we could monetize that sites. So that's what we did on that niche dual challenge.
That's cool, man. Very, very interesting stuff. I'm fascinated by this whole thing. Now, for those of you who don't know Tyrone, he's actually what I consider, one of the outsourcing masterminds. And I've learned quite a bit. I've subscribed to a couple of his the tutorials online. So, what I wanted to talk to Tyrone about today and share with you guys is how he sees. Uh, the way that real estate agents can implement outsourcing into their real estate business so that number one, they can create more passive income and also create a little bit more time for themselves to spend with their families or kids or whatever. So I know Tyrone just got married, so he's living the life that we all want to dream, which is working online, traveling, spending as little. I think one of your goals is to spend as little time working as possible and put it on, put the passive switch on, right?
Yeah, like on my blog that I've got at outsourcinglife.com, I've written down there just at the bottom that my goal is to work at least a maximum of 12 hours per week within the business. And last month, because I got married and I spent a lot of time with the family, I pretty much smashed that goal. But that was only for the first month. So I'm testing it out right now, and yeah, just cutting down as many hours as I can. And it's not about working less, it's actually working smarter. The whole goal is to actually have the good systems in place and to make sure that your team that I've got surrounded by me or with me can actually do everything that I'm supposed to be doing if I'm not around. And that's what happened last month, was that they continued to build the niche sites, monetize a lot of the things that I was doing, and also run the business as well. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible, and I'm proof of it. Just showing from that last month.
Well, we were talking earlier before we started recording here, and you actually said that you were a real estate agent, and
Yep.
so you mentioned, hey, you wish that you would have known back then what you know now with regards to outsourcing. So for the people that don't know what outsourcing is, I mean, I didn't even know what it was until about a year ago,
Mm.
and I'm doing a little bit of it for a couple of my real estate things. So why don't you tell them what outsourcing is, and maybe how you can see them applying that to certain outsourcing tasks within real estate.
Sure. Well, first things, maybe let's just take a step back and just explain to people how outsourcing can benefit them first. There's usually about three or four different points that I run through, especially when I'm coaching and teaching people on stage. The first thing about outsourcing is that it is beneficial in that it can save you time. That's the first thing that people don't realize, that it's so important to be able to do. And it can also save you money as well. People think that, oh, you got to spend that kind of money to be able to get it. But if you were to spend that money to go and say program a website, or to build backlinks to your site, or to even just do administration type of tasks yourself, you got to work out the dollar per hour that you're getting charged out to the work that you're doing. And say, for example, if you're earning like $200 an hour as a real estate agent, and you could hire someone to do all the administration work for you for $5 an hour, it's kind of a no-brainer that you should outsource a lot of that administration stuff. So the second point is really cost savings. You'll save a lot of money just by outsourcing. And then the third thing is that it allows you to grow any type of business, or to actually free you up from having to work inside your business. So those are really the three main benefits of outsourcing. But talking about what outsourcing really is, it's simplistically being able to just take whatever type of work that you have currently with you and pretty much get someone else to complete it for you, either in another country or locally at a much lower cost than what it costs you normally to do yourself. So that's pretty much what I define as outsourcing.
Well, cool. You jinxed us on the clarity on the video. Now you're all jumbled up. Am I still clear?
Yeah, you're very clear. You're still very clear.
All right. Well, no, we were talking before we started recording here. He's like, "Hey, this everything looks great," and I was like, "Hey, everything looks cool. You're smooth and everything." And then as soon as you started talking, it's like pixelated. Anyway, no big deal. Now, specifically with your experience as a real estate agent, what tasks, if you were going to tell somebody, if somebody's making a decent living, and not even specifically a decent living, maybe somebody that's just starting out and they have a little bit of a budget to outsource, what would you advise them to outsource immediately? Because a lot of real estate agents, they don't really know how to even get started. Clearly it's about getting clients and trying to build their clientele base. So most of those agents won't have listings where they'll have to work and
build
they'll actually
that database and actually go out there.
So for somebody that doesn't have listings, I mean, what could you see them outsourcing initially that would help them?
Well, from my experience when I was a real estate agent, I think I said to myself the most important thing that would actually bring in income into my own real estate business or my own real estate per se sales to make money is to go out there and meet people, face-to-face client meetings and do as many inspections as possible, and to also to show people what's possible that they can do to sell their house. So if I can focus my time on doing that, then all the rest of the stuff, such as follow-ups, like via email or to send out pamphlets via the mail, all that kind of stuff, shouldn't be all done by you, because that stuff really does take the time. As an agent, I remember I spent a lot of time looking up and finding out where to hit and target places where I can find listings, such as property to be able to sell. And that took a lot of time. You have to go through the books to be able to find it. You have to contact the people by phone, by cold calling. You have to go through and look at all the previous listings that have been sold in the area. That takes a lot of time. You could actually outsource all that kind of per se research to, say, an administration, and somebody who can be virtually, or somebody that could be locally that does that for you. It's really hiring more or less like an assistant to be able to manage that for you. The other thing is, specifically as a real estate agent, is we did a lot of pamphlet drops or brochure drops just to be able to promote your brand and your name as well in the area. That kind of stuff, if you want to go down, walk the streets and spend hours doing that, you can. But I think it's more effective for you to be meeting people face to face or making cold calls to be able to find clients. So once again, you can get that outsourced and get someone else to do that for you. Instead of you spending that time dropping letters yourself, you can get someone to do that for you. Sending out emails, sending it out to databases, that kind of stuff is very, very much a monotonous task, and it's just very, very recurring. If you have some set emails that you got to send out on a regular basis, people can send that out for you. And if you find someone else to outsource that for you, that would really, really save you a lot of time. Now, in terms of administrative title work, I'm really focusing on teaching, I guess, showing people to outsource a lot of that, because the fact is that if you spend a lot of your time sitting behind a computer, typing up emails, answering replies to certain questions and so forth, that can actually be all outsourced. And maybe perhaps you hire a virtual assistant or someone like that to be able to answer those questions for you, would really save you a lot of time, because then that way you go out and do more face-to-face or look for more listings and build up your business that way. So really, it's just all the administrative type of tasks that I recommend that you can outsource as a real estate agent.
Yeah, I mean, all that makes sense. And you mentioned something important there, which is branding. And I think for a new real estate agent, just starting out, they could actually outsource a lot of that stuff and brand themselves properly. And that leads me to my next question, which would be, if I was just starting out as an agent, I would definitely be, doing a lot of social media, tweeting, Facebook, all that stuff. So is that something that you see that can be outsourced as well?
Oh, definitely. I was actually going to mention more about sort of internet side of things. I think the thing that people at this point in time with real estate agents, I know that some of them are already currently doing that, but a lot of them are still doing the old school way, which is basically to use the old forms of media, which is letterbox drops, pamphlet drops, door knocking, cold calling. There's those things are still effective, but it takes a very, very long time. But you could build a brand quite fast by using all those social media types like Facebook, Twitter, now there's Google Plus, and you could pretty much get someone to help you set up all that branding behind, set up your profile, set up all the things that they need to do to be able to get in contact with you and handle that side of things and get people to know about you. And once you build up that kind of following behind you, you can start to collect emails. And once you start collecting emails, that starts to become your database that you can promote to. And that's very, very powerful because at a click of a button where you send out one email, you could hit hundreds of people instead of spending hundreds of dollars letterbox dropping for people locally. And they might be a lot more targeted than you just doing like a canvas drop all around locally, which is what I found to be very, very time consuming, and also too very costly. So if you can start to collect email addresses, create landing pages to drive traffic, drive people there who are looking in your area to sell, then you really, really could build up a substantial database online and become the online expert on real estate. And I know, like for myself, when I was in real estate, the stronger competitors in the market were the ones who were already online and doing it very successfully. They were doing a lot of their promotions online. They were driving a lot of traffic from their website online to their databases, and they were also using a lot of the online methods because it was very low cost comparison to doing all the pamphlet drops and the expensive newspaper advertisements. So that can all be outsourced and managed virtually. You don't need to do that yourself. Definitely.
Oh, well, very cool, very cool. So, have you found that there's one country that you like where you outsource your tasks at? Have you found that there's another country that works best for you? That you're like, okay, these people, they seem like they're trustworthy. This one company that I use, they're trustworthy, and they're in the Philippines. Because I know I use a girl in the Ukraine. She does some real estate tasks for me. She's been working for me for a year, and I trust her with almost everything I do in real estate. So for me, that's worked for me. Ukraine. What about you? What's your experience with that?
Well, I've tried different countries myself, and my first experience was with people in India. And unfortunately, that experience didn't go as well.
I had to, but
So
it was thumbs down for me.
yeah, I'm not gonna say any more comments than that. But to be honest, I didn't actually go back there. So from there, I went straight over and I found people in the Philippines. And since then, I've stuck with the people in the Philippines. And the reason why is because the people in the Philippines are very loyal. They're well spoken. The English is pretty much trained up from the American culture, so therefore there's a strong influence from that side of things, and therefore they can understand what we're talking about. Whereas I've dealt with different cultures, and sometimes when you explain a task or you explain something to them, they don't really quite understand, and therefore they can misinterpret what the task would be, and therefore you'd have that communication issue. So with the Philippines, I know that I won't go wrong because when I talk to them on a daily basis or when I talk to them on a weekly basis when we have meetings and stuff like that, the message goes across clearly because I know that when they come back with the action work, it's done. I don't have to worry about whether or not it's going to get done properly. So my preference has always been the Philippines, and that's what I recommend people to go to, and it's worked out really well. I know there's a lot of people going over there now, particularly from all around the world, to be able to outsource their work to. And there's still going to be plenty of work over there for them to be able to do. But over a period of time, obviously, with so many people going over there to get people to work for them, the cost of their wages would probably go up as well because there'll be a lot more demand. But as yet, I haven't seen it too bad, and I'm still able to find people for reasonable cost price. In saying that, also to trust, as you asked me, was I find that the Filipino, just because it's in their culture, they're the most trustworthy and loyal type of people. They're very honest. And if they do have any questions, they won't just go behind and say, I don't understand, or not do anything. They'll actually come and ask you. Like the other day, for example, if this is the thing about Filipino culture, the other day my programmer came back to me and said, Sir, I've been working for you for a year, and I think it would like to talk to you a little bit more about getting an increase in my salary. And I completely forgot about it because usually after at least 12 months or so, I usually review the salary. But because they're the type of people who are very good at remembering these things and also very loyal and honest, they won't go sort of tiptoeing around saying, can you give me a raise in salary? They'll actually come out and ask you directly and say to you and ask you nicely. So things like that, they're very, very good at, and I know that they're very loyal to get things done. And if things aren't right, you sit down with them, give them a few chances, and then they'll fix it up. And they don't want to disappoint you. If they disappoint you, they feel really bad, and that's where the loyalty and the integrity comes into play. And it's something that I found just working with the Filipinos. I mean, even myself as a Chinese background origin, I feel the same way too. If I disappoint someone, I want to make the best to make it up to them, make sure that things get fixed up properly rather than just leave them out in the loop.
Right.
So it is in the culture somewhere along the lines, and you can trust them. Obviously, for the first start, when you're first starting as a real estate agent and you're starting to outsource, for the first month or so, yes, test it out first. Don't obviously give them everything. Don't go to the point where you give them the credit cards and PayPal accounts and whatnot to manage. But just build that trust up. And it takes time. It's like anything. When you meet someone new, it will take at least a few months to get to really know this person. And at least a few months down the track, then you can start to trust them with more information. And it's the same thing. Any employee-employer relationship, you just need to do that. So test them out, see that they're suitable, and just give them work, give them challenges. And if they come back exceeding expectations, then you can give them more, and then just build up that trust with them. That's all I can say. I mean, like, it's an experience. You have to go through that. I'm not going to be able to say to you, this is the magic bullet. This is what happens. But,
No, I get you, because I had a similar situation with India as well, and the guy was great for a while, and he did great work, but it just didn't work out, and I always felt like there was this disconnect. And then I found a lady in the Ukraine. And she's just been great for me. So I haven't used anybody in the Philippines yet, but with these new sites that I'm building, I'm definitely going to experiment over there with the Philippines. So
excellent.
All right, and I guess probably one of the last things I wanted to ask you is, for anybody that's wanting to outsource, what is the price range that, say somebody in the Philippines, and I know it depends on what task, but let's just say for basic, maybe a social media manager, or responding to some emails, or just the basic administrative task, what would an agent, or somebody that's got a small business, expect to pay for that per hour?
Sure, that's a really good question. For normal virtual assistants inside the Philippines, this is just an average. You can pay a little bit more, or you might pay a little bit less, just depending on where you go through. And what I found is that this is probably on average, this is what they would expect. Roughly about $400 to about $450 per month, full-time, for a virtual assistant in the Philippines. And they basically do all the administrative tasks, from anything from handling emails, your customer support, mail outs, anything that's related to just administrative type of tasks they can do. And you can even train them to do sort of web marketing as well too. Say, for example, social media marketing like Facebook, Twitter, Google+, any of those things you can also train them to do. And that's basically for full-time. If you're going for, say, part-time, you'd be looking anywhere between $350 to $400 a month. Sorry, $300 to $350 per month for a part-timer. And then for anyone who's a little bit more specialized, say, for example, programmers, and I know real estate agents might not necessarily need it, and they may just do a one-off job to be able to set up a website. But if you are seriously considering about building up more and more websites down the track for your business as a real estate agent, because you may find that web property works for you and to promote, programmers cost anywhere between about $550 to about $650 per month full time. And they can do so many different tasks that are really technical, such as setting up your websites, managing your service, doing even all your search engine optimizations, and also your web marketing side of things. And they're very skilled in that area. So you can hire people to do those things if you want. I know that there are some people who have hired them straight off and have given them administrative type of tasks, and it is possible to do. But I wouldn't really highly rely on them, because they're very strongly technical, and you want to hire someone who's sort of more of an all-rounder who would be stronger in the virtual assistant side of things. So that's why I recommend doing a VA first if you're a real estate agent.
Yeah, because the programmer would probably get a little bit bored with administratives,
Yeah, they want something that's challenging them. So that's the reason why.
Yeah. All right, well, cool. And we're going to wrap up here. What I'm thinking is, for anybody that orders your course, Mass Outsource, basically, I mean, there's so many different levels to what you teach people in your course, and some of which we talked about tonight. What are a couple more little tips or strategies that you can share that they might discover in your tutorial? And also, what are the price ranges? Do you have different levels for your tutorials? And how do you go about sharing that with them? Is it all video tutorial, or is it something where you basically get together with them and kind of mastermind with them and show them what they should be doing? How is it laid out for mass outsource?
Sure, okay. Well, let me just answer the question about some tips, just to give people some tips as real estate agents and when they're looking to outsource. The most important and the crucial thing that I think a lot of people overlook is to not have strong systems in place. So when you do first start out with outsourcing, make sure that you do have strong systems in place. And what I mean by that is to make sure that you have a project management system or a CRM system, like a customer relationship management system in place, because at the end of the day, you don't want to be flying through emails back and forth to your virtual assistant. You want to be able to allow them to be able to take over that system that you're running, to be able to store your client base, to be able to manage all your leads and so forth, and let them run that. So systems are very important if you don't have that set up. Once you've got that set up, then the next thing I guess you want to probably just focus on is training. Training is very, very crucial, because not every person who you hire will have an idea about your business, particularly real estate. You know, it's a very specialized type of field. And when I first started out real estate, it took me at least 3 months to be able to understand and learn the ropes of how real estate listing all the way to making a market sale was possible. So training is very, very important, that you need to spend a bit of time training your virtual assistant up. And once you've got them trained up, you're really, really investing your time into a long-term asset there, because once they know how to do all those things, they can take over and pretty much run your backbone of your business while allowing you to focus on the things that you need to do most, which is the marketing and making sales of your business. So those are the main tips that I can recommend for real estate agents. Coming back down in terms of the course for Mass Outsource Mastermind, it is targeted at very different levels. I've got 3 packages that are available. The first package is the Gold package, which is a very basic package that allows people to be able to access these. And everything inside the course is mostly video, but inside each video we have action steps and also transcripts and audio. So if you are the type of person who doesn't have time and on the fly, you can actually download all of these audios and put it into your podcast, into your iPhone or whatever MP3 player you've got, and listen to it on the go. Now, if you're not audio or video, then you can also read the transcripts, which we all have transcribed in there. So it's different methods of different ways for people to consume the content. But the reason why we mostly have videos is because it shows you step by step on what to do inside the course, on how to outsource, what kind of training that you need to provide for your virtual assistants. And plus, I also provide all the training in there to be able to train people on how to be able to market their business as well if they decide to go down that path. So there are 3 different paths or packages, as I said. The first package is the Gold package, and you can check it out actually at massoutsource.com/sign up, or I'll put a link down below here for Duncan as well, which you can also click on and they'll take you straight to that page. But basically those 3 packages is Gold, Platinum, and also Lifetime Membership. And I'll just sort of run through what the 3 different packages are. The Gold package is a basic package which includes all the training videos, but it doesn't include access to a lot of other things, such as the bonuses that we have in there. Whereas the Platinum package also includes a lot of other bonuses. So you can get access to job sites such as bestjobs.ph, you get access to the forums, you get access to a lot of other content and material that is not included in there. And it's quite a bunch full, and there is only a slight little difference there. And then with the Lifetime package, once you purchase it up front, you get all the content up front, and also too, we help you find a virtual assistant as well. And that's probably the best value there, because for that one price, we go out there, find the virtual assistant for you, give them all the training, and pretty much get you set up. So yeah, you can just check it out on that site. It lists out pretty much everything there, step by step, on what to do.
Yeah, and here's the one thing that I want to stress to people is that, I mean, for the price that for the different tutorial packages that you offer, I mean, I know that I've been studying internet marketing and how to apply this to real estate and my niche marketing sites and SEO and all that stuff. And I've been doing it all on my own, with the exception of some outsourcing to the Ukraine with for my real estate. But I can't stress enough, Tyrone's training tutorials are so comprehensive that, and this isn't some big sales pitch or anything, but it basically he's handing you the key that'll save you so much time. And he's already gone through this. And if anybody knows, I put together a couple of tutorials that I'm one of them I'm finished with, and I'm still working on a couple more. There's an exorbitant amount of time that's required to put these together. And I've seen the quality of work that you do. So if anybody is considering even outsourcing, don't do it the way that I did it, which was I just kind of figured it out and learned and made mistakes on my own. Go to somebody who's an expert on it. It's kind of like if you want somebody to sell your house for you, you want to get the best real estate agent out there. You want to get somebody with experience that has knowledge of the market. So don't take any shortcuts on it. Go and get the tutorials. And do you offer like a 30-day thing, or is there a trial period, or how do you do that?
It's a 60-day money-back guarantee. So,
There you go.
I mean, if you sign up, you get 60 days money-back guarantee. So, we back it up. I've had hundreds of students already go through the course, and I've got so many testimonials that the course itself just speaks for itself. And I'm not here really to pitch for anything. All I just say is just I can only provide tips for you guys, and I hope that whoever listens to this audio and also this video as well will be able to gain some knowledge on how to be able to outsource, because at the end of the day, I want you guys to be able to succeed, and that's really what the whole goal is behind outsourcing.
Sure, sure. And that's the other thing that people don't understand is that when you create these products, there's a lot of time and effort and passion that's put into them. So, you don't want to put out something that's bogus where people, because word spreads quickly on the internet. So you've got an impeccable reputation, and I'm building mine as I go. So my thing is no fancy sales pitches here either. I don't do any of that with anything that I market or promote. So I think it's really important for people to know that. I've been following you for some time now, and I have watched what you've been doing. So I enjoy it. I like it. That's the reason I wanted to do this interview, is because certain people in the internet marketing world that you kind of feel like they're trying to hustle you and sell you on something, but you and Pat Flynn never came across like that to me. So that's why I wanted to reach out to you. It's like, hey, I think this is something real estate agents can benefit from, and let's go to the guy who's basically mastered it and put together a great tutorial and put it out there. So I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day. I know you're 8 or 9, 10, 12 hours ahead of us, or what?
Yeah, well, I mean, for me right now, it's only about 1 p.m. I was just about to go and grab some lunch and just sitting around and watch a bit of TV. So, so I mean, that's my day at the moment. As I said, I'm not working as much as I used to, because the fact is that I'm everything's systemized now, and I'm just taking it easy as much as I can. I mean, I still do a little bit of work just for fun, but trying to minimize as much as possible. So I'm more than happy to do these interviews with people.
Hey, man, it's great. Listen, I really appreciate you taking the time, and I'm sure people are going to get so much information out of this. And hey, let's talk soon. And thanks again. Maybe we can do something, down the line, and if some questions or comments come up, then maybe we can team up on something and maybe help other people out as well.
Definitely let me know. And yeah, it was an absolute pleasure to be able to do this interview with you, Duncan. And thanks very much for asking me.
All right, man. Thank you, dude. Talk to you soon.
Great. Thank you.